In these times of tremendous uncertainty, many of us are experiencing high levels of anxiety and fear.
Yeah, a difficult combination of things is happening right now. Social distancing plus school closures and fears of job losses are having a significant impact on many people's mental health. Since many of you can't go out to see a therapist right now, we asked UW Health distinguished psychologist Shilagh Mirgain to come to you today, and she joined us via Skype with some very good advice.
You know, I'm seeing a lot of people feeling really overwhelmed, almost like their emotional and mental bandwidth is taxed, feeling quite frightened. But we want to really work on coping strategies during this time. I say we have survived a lot of things as a species. Although these are unprecedented times that we're living through, we have great capacity within us to stay resilient and navigate. Things are going to change, at least temporarily, but if we can focus on creating a new normal, that's going to help us stay strong as well as emotionally and physically healthy.
If you know something, whether it's good news or bad news, it's easier to deal with. But the uncertainty is what is so toxic and difficult. What are some of your strategies to navigate the unknown and the fear that that brings for yourself and your children and everyone around you?
We want to really rein back our mind and work on simple practices to calm our system. So in particular, I'm really encouraging people to engage in some form of a relaxation practice or mindfulness practice daily. There are some great practices on YouTube. MyDrShilagh.com has free meditations on there for viewers to listen to. So think about spending at least 10 minutes, preferably 20 minutes a day, doing something calming to your system. And then we need to manage our mind. This anxiety tends to hook us, and there's social contagion. If we talk to somebody who's anxious, we get more anxious. If we're more anxious, we can spread that to others. So we want to quiet the noise in our mind. If our mind starts to spin, you can do something as simple as thought stopping. You can picture a stop sign or even putting an X over that thought or image, and then refocus your mind on something in the moment. Something simple as noticing 5 things around you, hearing 3 things, and touching 1 thing. That helps you ground in the moment and reestablish a sense of safety. We are safe in this moment, and we need to remember that. And something as simple as some relaxation, even some slower, lower breaths, stopping the thoughts, refocusing in the moment and saying, I'm safe, I got this. You know, we can navigate these challenging times if we do it together and help one another.
And maybe, you know, when everything is closed, nature is open. Is there power in just getting outside, taking a walk, getting some fresh air? Can that be healing?
Absolutely. You know, and that's an interesting point, Susan, that nature offers us something above and beyond what human connection can offer. And certainly we want to stay connected in really creative ways, whether hosting your book club online or going for cocktails with your friend, but doing it via FaceTime or you know, video chat. We know that exercise, nature, things like getting enough sleep, prioritizing at least 7 hours of sleep, eating well, laughing, all those things keeps our immune system strong and healthy.
Well, it does feel like the perfect storm right now because people have their kids home, they're worried about potentially losing their jobs, and supplies are running low. How do you control what you can control?
First, you know, to have a little bit of perspective by maybe even thinking a year from now, how do I want to navigate this difficulty? What do I want this legacy to be that I'm leaving? And then to just focus on the next step. You know, we don't know what the future has. Focus on the next step. What's one thing I can focus on today that's within my control? And I think we're going to get through this much more effectively through this time if we do it together. And so you also might think about get out of your own struggles and just help somebody. You know, help the neighbor. My neighbors brought me a bowl of soup yesterday. They actually had to leave it outside their door, and I had to pick it up, but it was something simple that made my day. Maybe you call somebody who's struggling.
And finally, just to sort of end on a positive note, do you think maybe this is a teachable moment for all of us to be more present, to not take things for granted so much? You know, you almost have to go through an experience like this to realize in so many ways how lucky so many of us are. And maybe that'll be the silver lining that comes out of these difficult days, do you think?
Absolutely, really well put, Susan. I think we've taken for granted the tremendous freedom, mobility, the ways we've been able to navigate the world and how that can just like that be taken. I also think we recognize the interdependence of us all, that events that happen halfway around the country in China are now ending up in our own home. And so we have this opportunity to awaken really more presence, more kind of their innate capacities for compassion and kindness and care, and really bring us back to the core of what it means to be human on this planet. And so we want to write a story that generations from now will be proud of, that they can look back at this time and hit the history books and say, yeah, these are my people. And so we just encourage people to, focus on what they can make out of this time.
Shilagh says it's also very important, if you're feeling overwhelmed, take a break from social media or listening to the news if it's just getting to be too much for you. Connect with friends and family, even if technology is the only way to do it right now. And she says, remember, you are not alone in this. We are all experiencing similar feelings, and we have great capacity within us to stay resilient. I love the way she put that, and that's a good thing to remember.
I feel better already.
Yeah.
And remember, this is not going to go on forever.
No, that's right.
There will be an end to this someday.
And if you need support, the psychologists and psychiatrists across the city are doing tele-appointments.
Right.
We're making the most of technology right now, so help is available if you need it.
Yeah, if you need it, seek help.
Yeah.